Hi everyone, it's Kelly here from Spiritual Awakening Signs, and today we're talking about the worst spiritual awakening advice that you could get, how to avoid it at all costs, because this is something that we get told by everyone. It is common advice, it's what people usually do in spiritual awakening, and I'm going to break down the reasons why it is absolutely all wrong. Don't worry, we've got you covered. So, most people in the spiritual awakening community, and even some spiritual awakening experts, will tell you that if you're going through a spiritual awakening, you want to be using spiritual items, you want to be using spiritual practices so that you can ease the signs and symptoms that we get that are so difficult and intense in awakening, and make the whole process that little bit easier. But that is the worst advice you could possibly get on the spiritual awakening pathway, okay? Because using any spiritual practice, any sort of spiritual item while you are going through the most intense parts of spiritual awakening is only going to further stimulate your already completely volatile, hyper awakening energies. Everything's really overcharged, everything's really volatile, and that results in immediate imbalance and an increase in the very difficult signs and symptoms that you're going through. So things like intense emotions, overwhelm, life instability, misalignment, anxiety is another really common one. All these signs get more intense and more difficult when we go through this. It causes what I like to call the Java effect. So I like to explain this to people because it's a really simple way of understanding this concept, how it works. Spiritual awakening, when you go through the process, this big influx of energy comes into your space. It's like drinking a really strong espresso. It's kind of more than that, but it's the closest thing we've got. It's like drinking an espresso, getting that caffeine hit, and everything starts to kind of increase, intensify. There's a clarity, and you're maybe moving a bit faster, maybe you're speaking a bit faster, things are different. When you use a spiritual item like crystals, incense, essential oils, yoga, meditation, energy healing, anything that is designed to affect your energy in any way, what you're doing is drinking another espresso, drinking, another double espresso. You're drinking more caffeine. That's what it's like. So what happens is exactly what happens when we have too much caffeine. The system starts to speed up. Maybe you start to sweat. Maybe you start to speak too quick. Maybe your thoughts start to race and you can't quite calm things down. Everything starts to become that little bit out of alignment and you can't quite get your grounding. You can't anchor in the moment. And it's exactly the same with spiritual awakening. The more spiritual items and practices you use, which is what we've been taught. This is what we've been taught. Of course, that's what we're going to do. That's what I did. And that was the mistake that I made. This is how I learned this. But when you do that, your energy is just going to become completely overstimulated and you're not going to feel good. It's going to make the whole process much more difficult. And the more that you get into that space where your energies are raised higher than they need to be, because your energies are already in such a high frequency, they don't need to be raised any higher. You're already far above what people would even consider a high vibration. You're throwing your energies out of balance. So what most people start to recognise when I explain this concept is actually, when I think back to it, when I'm using crystals or I'm wearing crystal jewellery or I've got a crystal in my pocket or in the room that I'm sitting in, my symptoms start to increase. When I did that energy healing or when I did that long meditation, I didn't feel right after it, or I got more anxious. That doesn't make sense. It's because it's amplifying the energies that are already there and it's not helping you, it's hindering you, it's too much for the system. And that's when the body starts to break down because it just can't manage that high frequency. Okay, is everybody following the Java effect? Hope so. I can see some people are watching live. Hello and welcome. If you have any questions, do let me know. So let's get on to the next part, which is what you need to do. Okay, so what you need to do when you're going through spiritual awakening, and this really goes for any stage of it that you're at, this would be the foundational advice and guidance that I would give you to make it so much easier, so much calmer, but still move ahead very quickly. Thank you for the love, guys. If you do that, it's going to make things much, much better. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to avoid all energy stimulating items and practices for a short while in order to allow your energies to regulate, to ground, to really anchor. Okay, when you do that, you will find that your symptoms reduce immediately. Within a few days you'll feel better. Within a week you'll have a noticeable difference. Within 2 weeks you will be fully grounded and your awakening will feel like something that you can manage and control. It really will transform your awakening, okay? But just like if you were hopped up on too much caffeine, you need to stop drinking it in order for your system to re-regulate, and it takes a little bit of time. Just like it would if you drank too much coffee, that caffeine needs time to move out of your system and for your system to calm down and get back to normal. It's the same with spiritual items. You need to take a break from them so that your energies stop getting charged. And as they stop getting charged, they slowly start to ground back down. They calm down, everything's okay, the system starts to relax. And you can then start working on your awakening. When you're in that other place, you're going to keep getting taken back to zero, because the minute you get taken into that high vibrational frequency that's too much, and you ultimately fall from that with some sort of symptom or challenge, or the signs get out of control, or your mind can't keep up with the process, because it definitely tests your sanity, it takes you back to zero. So it's really hugely detrimental to your awakening to do that. But if you can avoid these things for just a little while, just a short while, you're going to find your anxiety and overwhelm reduces. You're going to find that your psychic and intuitive senses become balanced. They become functional, so that's where they get clear. There's not all this confusion and was it really a sign, or can I really trust it? Was it my imagination? That all gets moved out of the way because you're anchored, okay? You get a clarity of mind, so it becomes easier for you to know, what should I do next? What's the next step in my life and in my awakening? You have reduced emotional turmoil. Those meltdowns actually start to calm down. It becomes less regular. You'll have improved life stability, which is something that we all want on the awakening pathway. We just want to be able to handle things. And of course, it's going to align you with your purpose, because the universe will know that you are a steady, stable, reliable vessel for that higher vibrational love and light energy to be channeled through. It won't do that with you when you are the type of energy that constantly gets thrown out of balance. You need to be a trustworthy source that it knows, they can handle that energy. We can move that through them. Now, if you can do these things in the right way, you're going to find very soon things will change. But if you imagine a year from now, okay, your awakening is going to be steadily progressing. There will still be things coming up for healing, because there always are on the awakening pathway. But as they should be coming up in the awakening pathway, but you'll be calm, you'll be steady, and you'll be feeling sane, which is the biggest part of the spiritual awakening thing. You don't want to be moving through that, questioning your sanity and wondering if it's just completely caused you to lose your mind. That's not a good place to be, okay? You're going to move through awakening much more swiftly, because you're not going to be constantly losing your balance from getting too overstimulated by energetic things and then starting from zero all over again, having to climb back up into a vibration, which is where you should be, okay? Your energy is going to be balanced enough that you'll be able to live a normal, healthy, happy life without the drama of awakening, without the overwhelm, the anxiety or the meltdowns. You're going to be in control of your awakening. You're going to be a conscious co-creator with your awakening, and it's going to be a big deal, because you'll be in control rather than letting it control you and throw you around like a ragdoll, which I'm sure you'll know it can do, absolutely can do. So I hope this has brought some clarity and insights to your awakening. Do let me know if you have any questions below. Now, I teach all this and much, much more in our signature course, the Grounded Awakening System, which is a course of energy healing downloads to reduce your awakening symptoms and ground and stabilise your energies for the awakening process in just 7 days, no matter how bad it's been, no matter how long it's been like that. And more than that, there's also a VIP coaching community as part of the course, where you get direct access to me and you can ask me your most difficult and challenging awakening questions, and I will be there to help, to guide you, and to give you specialised expert advice on what you need to do next. 100% there for you. Now, we open the doors in just about 7 days time, so if you want to get notified when we launch, you can look at the link below, and you can join us there, and we would love to see you there. I would love to be able to help you. I see we've got a little comment from Bonnie. Let's just see if I can see that clearly. So she says, your advice has helped me tremendously. I am sane now because of you, seriously. I found you 3 years ago and my awakening has been much more stabilised. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's great, Bonnie. I use all your meditations to help support me and keep me calm. I can now use crystals and oils in small doses. Excellent, thank you Kelly. Oh, thank you Bonnie so much for sharing that. This is what I really want people to know. When you apply these steps, everything starts to calm down. We have just been given the wrong advice. It's not you that's the problem, it's just the approach, because that's what we've all been taught. So it's time to take a new step in a positive direction and get your awakening under control and make it something that's really a joy in your life rather than a real challenge. Alright, I hope that I can be helping you with that, and I hope you will join us on the course. Click below to be notified when we launch, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you again soon.